What's up, though? How we
What's
doing?
up? What's up? How you doing?
Put a little bit like higher so it doesn't cut off your chin. All right, there we
Hey,
go. There we go.
what's good?
Okay, that's perfect. Just
Perfect.
because for like editing purposes and cutting the reels and whatnot.
I
What's
got you.
going on?
Say it again.
What's going on? How we doing?
Nothing much, man. You know, it's crossover season. It's busy.
How was
So
like today? Because I know. So tell me like the process. I know daily you be at practice and whatnot, probably trying to get clips or whatever for like the lead up, then like the previews. What's it? What are they called? I'm forgetting. I'm literally blanking out on the term. Like pregame, all that stuff, warm
talking about
ups.
like hype videos and stuff, or
Yeah,
like
all that stuff before. I don't know why I just blanked out on that. But
yeah. So daily is really dependent on like how many games we got that week. Like you know, if it's a big opponent or if it's somebody that we already know we're gonna beat and we don't really have to make something super big, but like I'll say, for example, like our women's team, we just played UConn, so um, going into UConn, obviously that's a big game. Paige Beckers, Gino, like, so we kind of planned out ahead of time, what we were gonna do. So um, that we wanted to make like a super big hype video going into that. I think we posted that the morning of. Um, Obviously, we didn't get the outcome that we wanted to, but you know,
yeah,
uh, for those bigger games, we definitely want to make sure that we promote those in the right way and capture that to the best of our abilities. So
how many teams do you record? Wait, hold on one second. You low key got to say hi though. I'm gonna get roasted.
Why?
Then we'll be like, who the heck in the corner?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
You gotta say what's up too, like low key.
Nice to meet you. I'm Brooke.
I
No,
like,
he's coming around the corner.
What's going on?
what's up? What's up?
Nice to meet you. I'm cooking. I don't want the food
Yeah,
to burn.
that's a chef.
Okay. What you making?
No, he said, "What you making?"
I'm making some stuffed salmon with garlic mashed potato.
Sure. Dog, that's crazy. Because I see her go in the corner, and I know for a fact that I'm gonna be getting killed in group chats. And I'm like, who that in the corner, now? Like, yeah, I was precaution. I was making sure I was protection.
That's funny. That's funny.
No,
But,
how many teams do you record for? Because I know like during the fall season, I don't know how many people are in like the video team for USF. How many
we have
teams?
so we
Three?
have three guys. Um, on paper, I have two, but off paper, we got to do pretty much everything. So um, that's on paper. I have women's basketball and volleyball, but we kind of just help each other out in whatever way we can. So we end up doing a little bit of everything.
Hmm. When did you pop over to USF? Were you a student there first, and you like worked your way all the way up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I did my undergrad at USF. I started as an intern, I think my senior year. Yeah, so I interned my senior year. So I was like interning there and I was freelancing. So I was just shooting like a lot. Like I was shooting like 7 days a week pretty much. Um,
Daily.
so yeah, it was crazy. I don't know, like looking back, I don't know how I did it, bro. Like it was crazy. But
With school.
I think during that time period it was important for me to shoot that much and to edit that much because what we do is all about the reps. It's putting in the reps. It's like a hooper, like you got to put your shots up, and that's the only way you're gonna get better. You're not gonna get better just sitting down, not doing anything. So um, that's what I feel like that was a pivotal time for me to just get those reps up, learn what my style was. I don't think I knew what my style was back then. So just kind of figuring all that out at that point. So
Give me one sec. That my phone about to die. I'm trying to put on a charger. I'm getting calls left and right. I'm telling people to give me a sec. No, I got it. Thank you. But so I know obviously you went to USF. I know how that pattern already goes. For people that don't know, I mean, Willie can explain to them later. I know how it goes. So I want to know stuff that I just don't know about you yet. You know what I'm saying? Where are you from originally?
so I'm a military kid, so I was actually born in Japan.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that always shocks people when I tell them. So yeah, I was born in Japan. We were there. Me and my family were there for like 3 years, and then my dad got stationed to McDill in Tampa.
Do you count as Japanese?
Say it again.
Do you count as Japanese?
Unofficially, yes. Unofficially,
That's
yeah.
kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie. That's low-key cool.
Yeah, that's a little flex I can always throw on somebody that I was born there. But
When did you leave there?
when I was 3, so when I was 3,
Oh,
we moved over to Tampa because my dad got stationed at McDill, and then been here ever since, pretty much. So
God.
it was a short time, but
yeah.
you know, I wish I remember more. I was a little kid, so I don't remember too much. But
how did you get into like video and stuff like that? I guess you from Japan. I mean, of course, you probably don't. I don't know if you got any memory of that. Come over here, Tampa. Sounds like you've been there since, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so then, how and when did you get into video?
So it's a funny story. So pretty much when I moved from Japan to Tampa, like that's when I started. Cause I think I started playing basketball when I was like 3 or 4. So like pretty much right when I moved over, like my parents put me in a YMCA league and ended up falling in love with basketball. So like basketball was all I knew from like 3 until like my senior year of high school, and like that was, everybody go get to the league. You want to play in the NBA. I always had a backup plan, but it was like I never wanted to fully focus on my backup plan because it's like then you're not really focusing on your A plan if you focusing on plan B. So I always had in the back of my mind. It was weird because I was growing up. I was a shy kid. I didn't really talk too much. But
I was the same way to a certain extent.
Yeah, but if you stuck a camera in my face, like I don't know what got into me, but like I lit up. So like I would have all the personality in the world when I got in front of a camera. So, and I didn't discover that until like I think it was my 5th grade year when I was in I was on the morning show. That's when I first discovered that like, shoot, I can actually like talk in front of the camera like really good, and like my personality shows in front of that. So I think I did that. I did that in 5th grade, and then I did that in middle school, and I did it in high school. In high school, I first started to kind of learn about cameras because my high school had like a film academy. So my 4 years while I was
high school is this? I've never this sounds like a cool high school. What high school is this?
It's Spoto High School in Riverview.
Okay. Dang, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I went, because if they didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have went to that school. And I knew at that point, I was like, my plan B was to be like a sports broadcaster. So I was like, okay, cool. Like this sounds like something up my alley. It doesn't sound exactly what I want, but like I know it'll be in that realm. So I was like, let's do it. So ended up going there. I learned a lot, but I think I didn't. Looking back on it now, I wish I took it more serious, like in those classes, learning like the ins and outs and things like that. But I don't think what we did in those classes like really piqued my interest. Like at that point, I don't think I wanted to do like short films or like horror things and PSAs, and that's the type of stuff we did in those classes. And at that point, like I really wasn't interested in that. I was like, I wanted to hoop, and then I was like, I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. So I was like, if we're not doing that, like I was gonna get an A in the class and call it a day. But I think looking back, I wish I took those more serious. But I think it was all just. Go ahead.
No, okay. You're like the first person I heard say something like that. Only just because of like, I guess the people that I know that have like gone to film school, me personally, have like probably have said they either didn't learn enough or they wish they learned something different in the sense of whatever the description of the classes has said. They didn't really get to learn that. Maybe they probably learned the basics of it, and then you just do like some project and they just call it a class. Instead of actually being fully hands-on in the way that people want to be.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty hands-on. I think because we were like our class was like a select group of kids in there. So like we went, we had like our film academy classes per se, and then like all of the rest of our classes during the day, like because we were all in like honors and AP classes. So like we had classes pretty much all the full 8 periods. We see each other every period. So like we kind of were able to build that bond with each other and all that. But yeah, our teacher was super hands-on. I think I just didn't like I said, I just didn't take it as serious. But I think it was all just a part of like God's plan and God's journey for me of really just kind of discovering like what I want for myself. You know what I mean? So going into college, I think that's when God really was like, okay, like we're going to transition you into a different period of your life. And so, you know, change is scary. Like I did not want to give up basketball yet, but I was like, you know, that part of your life and that season is over, and like we're gonna transition
Chapter's closed
to this new one. And so for a while it was like, man, I don't know what I want to do, because all I knew from when I was 3 was basketball. That's all I knew. And so I was mass comm major going into college. I did my first semester and I was like, this is okay, but like I don't know if I like truly love it. And at that point I was talking to a lot of broadcasters like in the Tampa Bay area. I would just, you know, hit them up, ask them for coffee, and just kind of pick their brains and you know, ask them questions and things like that. And I think the thing that kind of took me away from that world was just the fact that I talked to a lot of people and they were like, you know, hey, like this business is cutthroat. Like, you know, you can be given a station 20 years and then they got budget cuts and then the next day you're fired, but you know, you didn't do nothing wrong. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I'm a futuristic type of thinker. So like, I'm thinking ahead for my family. Like I can't put my family in that situation where like, I don't know if like I'm gonna have a job the next day, just because, you know, I could be doing everything right. And then they're just like, hey, like, sorry, we gotta cut you, buddy. Like I was like, I can't do that. So I ended up kind of transitioning out of that. During that phase, I was my trainer when I was playing, he had asked me to come out and start training with him. And so I was like, I mean, okay, cool. Like, you know, when I was playing, I had a good IQ of the game of basketball. So I was like, you know, I'll go out there and try it. Ended up falling in love with it. So I was, I think a lot of people don't know this about me, but like I was actually like a trainer for a while. So I was training like.
Were you with Dylan and Luigi? I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Who?
Luigi?
Oh, Luigi.
Yeah. No? What about Dylan?
Lucci stuff though, for sure.
I know Luigi. I met him like a couple times. And then Dylan, of course, I see him a lot.
Yeah, but I was when I met them, I was already out of that phase of like training. But
what time period is this when you kind of became a trainer post basketball?
This is my freshman year of college. So we're still in my freshman year of college. This is like fall. This is still like first semester.
This is like pre-camera, pre-athletic department.
Yeah. So this is me discovering that aspect. I was actually really good at it. Like I was training like overseas guys, college guys. Like I was going from pretty much overseas all the way down to like elementary. And I started to get really good at it. I fell in love with it. I was making a lot of connections while I was doing it. I had like college coaches like hitting me up about players that I was training. Like I was actually like legit. Like I was, you know what I mean? So,
boy.
huh?
I said, okay, boy, you were certified. Were you certified? So yeah, he was, okay. All right.
A little bit. I ended up changing my major. So I was like, okay, I think I want to be like a skills trainer. So I was like, I ended up changing my major to like exercise science. Worst decision I could have ever made, man.
Why?
So
why is that?
Bruh, them science classes was killing me, dog. I didn't realize like that. Yeah, them classes was just not it for me. Like I couldn't do them science classes, and I was like, yeah, no, I gotta. At this point, I would think this was going into spring semester. Yeah, this was going into spring semester. And so I was like, I was struggling in them science classes, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this, man. Like, and so I had a friend, shout out to my dog. His name is Tyven. He's actually a producer. And so we met at high school. We became like super close. Like that's my brother. And so it was over the Christmas break, and he was like, yo, I know like you know, broadcasting didn't work out or whatever. Like, how about you try getting behind the camera? Like, see how that goes. And so I was like, you know, I don't know, like, that's not really what I want to do. And he was like, bro, just try it. Like, I promise you, like, it's, you know, it's not gonna hurt if you go out there and try. So I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up like saving up.
It was really him.
Oh yeah.
It was really him. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he the reason why I started for real. Like I got to give it to him, because if he hadn't put that bug in my head, like I don't think I would be where I'm at right now, to be honest. And stayed up for my first camera. Had a, I think I had a Canon Rebel. I think I had like a T3 or something like that.
T3i.
Yeah. Everybody start with this. Everybody start with the Canon Rebel, man.
That was me too. That was me,
Yeah.
bro. I used that. I literally used that camera for most of my film projects all the way up to senior year. And then I took, since I was over at UT for a little bit, I used the FX5 for my senior thesis. And that's it. Those are the only two cameras I ever used. And then I finally got my own camera, 2023, a Sony A7 IV.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Rebel will get you right, man. It's like
It's a good startup.
It's a good start for sure. Yeah, you know, like we're in this age now where everybody's like super obsessed with cameras, but it's like you got to work with what you got. Like if you got a phone, if you got a Canon Rebel T3i, like you got to make use of it. You got to learn. And like honestly, like it really doesn't matter what you start with. Like you got to learn the basics and the fundamentals. You got to learn your aperture. You got to learn your f-stop. So you got to learn all that. You got to learn how to expose an image correctly, shooting the right shutter speed, all that type of stuff. You know,
everything else comes easy after that. I was trying to explain that to my dad the other day. He was already like too far ahead. He was like, "How are you gonna know those big cameras? Like those are the same thing. It's like they're psyching you out because you don't even know how to use a camera at all." Like he just didn't understand it. So it's just like, you know. But he doesn't have to get it, but we understand that, you know.
For sure.
Yeah. But how did like your broadcasting? I do want to know more about your broadcasting. How did that broadcasting knowledge and just like learning everything that you did, how did that transfer over to sports in general with like your videos and stuff like that? Because I know definitely it has to give you some sort of edge, especially playing basketball in your past and now recording basketball at USF. So like how does that look for you?
I think broadcasting for me now, I think it's just versatility. Like if at any point I need to go back to do something like that, like I can say, hey, I can do that. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm nervous to do it or I don't have the skill set. You know what I mean? But I think definitely like where I have that edge of how my past has kind of helped influence the present and for the future is definitely for me playing. Like when I was playing, I was so obsessed with the game. And you talk about the greats. So you talk about like Kobe, MJ, LeBron. Like they're obsessed with just the game and just putting in work. You watching film, you're looking up things. Like that's how I was when I was playing. Like my parents can tell you I'm up 10, 11, 12 a.m. Like I'm just on YouTube looking up.
You don't even want to know what they say about me, but keep going.
I'm watching drills. Like I had notebooks full of like who from these players, and like I broke it. Like I was obsessed with the game and like researching and doing all that type of stuff. And I didn't know it at the time, but God was preparing me for
yes, sir.
For now at this point where I'm at now is like now I'm obsessed with shooting and editing and you know
it all helps. Like it literally all went all the way back from all that.
It translates. It translates. It's the same thing of just really putting in that work, researching, always trying to be a learner, and you know. So I think like just that aspect of it, I didn't know it now, but God was setting me up for greatness even back then that I didn't know and I couldn't see
it.
You know what I mean?
Boy, yeah, you couldn't, but you knew it. You had like to continue to walk with the Holy Spirit, of course, and just walk by faith. Like each step of the way was like it kind of it hits your gut. It's like, okay, I should be doing this, and that's just so tough. Because I remember when I first met you, when at the game, I was sitting. I'm not gonna lie to you, going there because I usually get my media passes from the players. I know that like kind of getting front row or next to the court and whatever. There's some guy that always gets mad at me for just sitting there. I don't know why he has a problem with me, but I know that I kind of walk around like I belong, just I have to, so I can blend in sometimes.
got
That's
to.
what
You got to. You gotta act. You gotta walk like you own the place. You got to.
and look, and it worked. I know the security now, like they just say what's up every time I'm there. But I still remember meeting you though, and I remember after that, that's when you said some comment that you mentioned like your faith already. It's like, oh yeah, this guy, and this guy already got like I already knew off rip. So I was like, definitely just gotta chop it up sometime. When did you get into like your faith? Were you also that kid that's just getting dragged to church on Sundays?
Yeah, so I grew up in church. I think for me, um, obviously my parents, like, I was going to church, but I think at a younger age, I like really fell in love with my faith and just with the Lord. And I got saved pretty early on. And um, I commend my parents for allowing me to develop my own relationship. It wasn't like, all right, Anthony, you gotta do your devotion today. All right, Anthony, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It was like, we're gonna take you to church and we're gonna make sure that you are around the right people. But then from there, it's your relationship with God. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what you need to do, right, what you need to say. You know what I mean? So um my relationship is not perfect by any means, but it's forever growing. It's something that is important to me, and then, it's important for us as Christians to be able to continue to spread the word and to be a light in this world. You know what I mean? With everything that's going on in this world and how corrupt our world and how just dysfunctional everything is, like we have to be the light. You know what I mean? So
100%. So I got one last question for you, and then next time we do this, I want to do it in person. But
okay.
also, like, I will let you finish the season because I know you're doing hella stuff right now, my dog. I know you're doing hella stuff. So we're gonna wait till the season ends, and then we'll get another one in.
For sure.
Last question for creators, obviously like ourselves that do video work, photography, graphics in the sports realm, arena, communications. You know what I'm saying, like that. I want to get into it, especially. Do you have any advice for those people? Maybe even like in the moment of just like, I don't know if I really want to pick up this camera like that, and don't even know like a camera can take you plenty of places. Like, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Man, I would say you got to step out in faith and go. Like, you can't be scared of failure. Because failure is really what's going to help you be great. Like, all the greats have failed plenty of times, but it's really about how you get up from that, what you learn from that, and how you're going to adjust and move on. So I would say just go out there and do it. Like, don't be scared. Don't compare. And then another thing, don't compare yourself to the other creators that you may follow or take inspo from. Like, you can take inspo from them, but don't compare, because that's when
Don't copy and paste.
the thief of joy. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to compare your work and your journey to somebody else's. Somebody's journey could have been 5-10 years longer than where you are right now in month 1. You know what I mean? So like, you just gotta have tunnel vision, and that's kind of what I do. You gotta have tunnel vision and really just focus on your own growth. So you take it day by day. You shoot a lot, like we talked about. Like, it's all about the reps. You got to shoot a lot. You got to edit a lot. So just go in there, put in the work, and it's gonna come back tenfold. Like, if you plant that seed and you continue to water it, it's gonna grow into something big. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for this. Thank you for your time, because I know how busy you are. Shooting 7 days a week is absolutely insane. I don't know how you find time to edit. I don't know if you're shooting 7 days now, but still, I know how that workload goes. I know how intense it is. I know if you got homework and other things that you're trying to do, it's a lot. So I appreciate you, brother, for like even doing this and taking your time out your day. As soon as the season ends, like I'm watching the season too. I'm already big on basketball. I've played as much as you have. I don't consider myself really a baller whatsoever, but I do like and love the game of basketball. So I watch a lot, I study it. You know what I'm saying? Not to that crazy detail, but I know players. I know the game itself. I've watched it all throughout my life. Like, I've been into balls, life, hoop time. I say the same thing to everybody over time. Like, I watched it as a kid, so I just grew up in the game as well. So I mean, I will be watching. I will be over there, even just to show some love. I'm not even gonna bring my camera. I'm gonna just pop in. I'm gonna see you soon, my dog. Thank you for this. I'm gonna hit you.
Of course.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, Deb, have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too.